Well, welcome back. I feel like you all expected Minecraft, but you got us all in real life.
Got you good.
Here we
Welcome
are.
to Mouthful of Sand, episode 4. Today we're actually in our Tafe library because we had a moment to come out during a break and actually see each other in the flesh. We forgot that the other people were actual real humans.
It's pretty weird.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
It's good to be back. It's
Yeah.
been a weird hiatus, I think, especially walking around campus when I came back in this morning. It was just like, oh wow, this is real. This happens. But yeah,
It's been a long hiatus. It feels like it's been almost a good part of a year that we haven't been.
Yeah, it's probably not far off.
Yeah.
when did we go like in lockdown officially? Like end
I
of
think
March?
it was probably, end of March-ish.
It was early on.
And
yeah.
it's what at start of October.
Yeah.
30th of September.
I know, it's crazy. So we've all been doing this from home, sitting in our rooms. So it's nice to actually be in the city again. I actually haven't been on the trains. I went on today, and it turns out they had more of those green stickers on all the streets.
Yeah.
This is weird.
It's like it seems like most things are starting to get back to normal.
Yeah.
I was just saying to you boys as well, even at work now, we've stopped wearing masks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess, and when you're on public transport, some people have masks on and some don't.
Yeah, it seems like there's definitely a divide. You've got the people that are, everything's back to normal and are approaching it like that. But then you still have like the side that's really cautious about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting cross-section.
0 new cases too, hey? They did thousands of tests
Wait, when?
in New South Wales. 0 new cases, yeah.
When? Today?
I think it was,
I think past 2 or 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea about that. That's insane.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good.
0 new cases.
So you heard it from here, we're doing all right.
I saw,
okay.
Coming back.
I saw music venues and stuff were taking up to 50% now as well.
50% capacity.
Like music
Okay,
venues
yeah.
with under 1,000 people
Yeah.
are taking up to 50% capacity. I don't know if they still have to be socially distanced though. Can you stand up then? Or like...
Well, actually, it's funny you say that because I was going to mention I'm actually on Saturday going to my first ever live show.
Really?
Since lockdown.
Nice.
And I was like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah.
One of the bands that me and the boys used to know, shout out to yours truly, are doing a show in Crowbar.
I was literally at Crowbar last week.
Yeah.
That was where I went.
Sick little venue.
It's
hey.
cool, yeah.
So we're all gonna be seated at tables and just having a bevy and just kicking back to some live music. But it's gonna be weird.
Yeah.
Purely because pop punk being as high energy as it is, I don't know if it's gonna feel weird.
Yeah, sitting
down
at a
to
table
it.
might be strange.
Well, when I went to see my mate's band as well. Oh, how's that sound? What is that?
It's the computer. Sorry about that.
When I went to see my mate's band a couple of weeks ago, they're like just this. They're like this really just like punky band. So it'd be a similar thing, pretty high energy. Everyone gets super rowdy, but we're all seated. But it was still cool. It was just like I think it's just good to be back. Like live music is back, and you're just kind of sitting. Sitting. And he like takes all his clothes off and stuff on stage, and we're all just sitting there like
Is that the one where the guy was sitting on the guy's shoulders?
Yeah.
That was nuts.
Yeah, we all started
I was looking at his story on Instagram, and it's just this bloke sitting on. Was it the guitarist?
Yeah. He's just in his undies, by the way.
I was like, that's wild. And you can imagine everyone in the crowd's just sitting at a table having a drink.
Yeah.
Just
watching,
sitting
it's
there
like,
watching.
Oh yes, exquisite.
Yeah. We started like crushing our cans on the floor and throwing them at him. Somehow no one got kicked out. It was a good time.
That's mad.
I'm going to the Lansdowne tomorrow as well for a
Nice.
gig. Yeah,
Nice.
which I'm keen for.
What's the genre?
Same punk.
Yeah, sick.
I'm not sure what band it is. It's my friend, and she was just like, "Yeah, let's go see it." And I was like,
sick,
"Hell yeah,
sick.
dude, I'm in."
Yeah, you got any coming up?
Nothing planned, but
Yeah.
if stuff's starting to go back, I'll be on the lookout.
Yeah, nah, that's it. See, the thing is, like, before lockdown, I didn't even really go out to many shows as much anyways, because I was kind of like over it. The years before, I went to heaps, and I was just kind of taking it chill. But now
You've got to catch up
privilege
for all the lost
has
time.
been taken
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
I'm like, now I actually have to go to some. So anyway, it's gonna be fun. What I was saying with this band is they're kind of like they're people that we've known in the scene, especially me as Oaks, and from a musician's perspective, looking out in the crowd, seeing everybody sitting down would be even weirder. So I was just thinking about that too. Like, imagine being up there, high energy, like, punk beats, crashing and all that, and then just everyone's just sitting down like, woo.
I think you'll still sort of get like everyone sort of like nodding their heads and like getting pretty into it though. I don't know. I think you'd be surprised. With,
Yeah,
like, with the reception from the crowd because everyone's pretty pumped.
Yeah.
Everyone's pretty pumped. It's
I know,
awesome.
it's not like I look up anyways during
Just head down.
I'm just like, I'm always down just like,
it.
oh yeah. So it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Cool.
Yeah, so I think today we're actually really on the topic of music anyway, so it's good we're talking about this. And I was going to ask you boys, musicians that, I was going to say that there are a lot of musicians that aren't actually famous for their music, and I was thinking about this week. And I was thinking, this is debatable, and I feel like a lot of people would not agree with this, but Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus. Like, I feel like Hannah Montana was that very kind of Disney, like actress that everyone's like used to just watch heaps.
Yeah.
And when you went to Miley Cyrus, people liked it, and they liked her edgy little breakdown and all that, but I just don't know what kind of sits there. And I feel like it's like, what in my head is she more famous for? And it's the same with a lot of musicians. Like, I didn't even know it's like Selena Gomez wasn't a musician, because the only time that I really heard about her when she was doing her music, it wasn't even that good.
No.
Maybe it's kind of like they start with this. I mean, those two artists you mentioned, Selena Gomez and who was the other one?
Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus. Yeah, they were both on like Disney,
Yeah.
right? So maybe they like they got their sort of initial credibility, if you will, that initial sort of claim to fame through Disney, and then they obviously had some sort of musical talent. So then, in turn, they then became more famous for their music.
Yeah.
In that sense, I would especially think with like Miley Cyrus, like I don't know if Party in the USA was like her breakout thing, but that's like, dude, everyone knows that.
Yeah,
everyone knows that. And then Wrecking Ball, and like she's had some actually like alright songs.
Yeah.
Some
I can
alright
agree with
songs
that.
lately.
I can agree with that.
So I don't know. Do you think that they're not more famous for?
I don't know. It's just like, I feel with some people, they might sit in their head as more of that Disney kind of actress, but it's complete opposite with people like Ariana Grande.
Yeah. See, I didn't know that Ariana Grande was like known through Disney beforehand, but you know, for me, when you think Miley Cyrus, the first thing I go to was like back when she was Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
So I suppose it kind of depends a little bit on like the kind of music that they're creating. I think Miley Cyrus, when she went into her kind of off the rails days, it became like a very niche market of music.
Yeah.
But Ariana Grande is like classic pop, the stuff you hear on the radio.
Yeah.
And so that's probably why she got as big as she did. Whereas Miley Cyrus was more in the in the limelight for doing crazy stuff, not necessarily her music.
Yeah. Okay, agreed. Another one as well. I cannot remember her name, but iCarly. It was the girl with the darker hair. The two main girls.
Miranda Cosgrove.
Miranda Cosgrove. Yeah. Her music. I don't know.
Does she have music?
Exactly. Yeah,
No.
She does.
Really? Serious?
She does. And I was listening to her and I'm like, this is whack. You gotta look it up. It's it was very that era of music.
Like 2000s?
Yeah. And like, don't even get me started on the fashion of the 2000s, but it was all in that category.
Yeah.
But
our top song's got 18 million streams.
I know, but
Whoa,
you wouldn't pick it. So it goes the exact opposite way as well. Like, some people that started in like Nickelodeon and Disney, they'll go on and try their music careers, and then it just, no one gives a crap. But apparently 18 million people do.
Yeah,
so
that's not bad.
Yeah.
18 million.
She was more famous for her acting though, I think. She was in School of Rock.
And she did a great job in that film.
That's a great movie, School of Rock. That is an all-time. Who doesn't like that movie?
Classic.
I don't know who doesn't like that movie, but if you don't, there's something up there.
Speaking of movies, actually, I'm not a big movie guy, but the other day I was really compelled to watch Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Have you seen that?
Yeah. I've not seen it.
I was blown away. I don't want to make too big of a call now because I've only just watched it.
Yeah.
But that was seriously, I reckon, one of my all-time favorite movies.
You
That
know
was
that,
so good.
One of the songs of our new album, so a cheeky little
Plug
here,
Nice.
is actually called Ramona Flowers.
Oh, no way.
So my vocalist is the biggest Scott Pilgrim nerd.
Right.
He has all like the comics and everything.
Right.
And so a lot of the songs that we made off this EP are based off like the
Yeah.
whole Scott Pilgrim.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah.
what a weird
that's cool.
connection that I've just watched that and you say that.
It's
How
it's
about
whack.
that?
Ramona Flowers is like the female protagonist
Yeah.
in the movie. Just
He's
for-
like obsessed with her kind of thing, but like they just have this weird relationship. It's
yeah.
like,
The idea
it's
of the
like back and
movie
forth.
is like he has to defeat or like fight her 8 or 9 evil ex-boyfriends.
Like seven.
Okay.
Seven,
Yeah.
seven ex-boyfriends.
Yeah.
And then it's mixed in with this sort of like punky,
Yeah.
nerdy rock scene.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's awesome, dude. You should definitely watch it.
Yeah,
I
I'll
like
check
it. It's on Netflix. So.
Yeah. I
Great
was actually
movie.
watching the big Star Trek fan I am. I was watching Picard, which was like a spin-off of Next Gen that they did like a couple years back, or like maybe last year. And the drummer from Scott Pilgrim, so their drummer in it was like one of the scientists in that film.
Oh, no way.
And like this whole time I'm watching this like season of Picard, and I'm like, I know who this person is. I know it, but I can't put my finger on it. And then like I look back and I was like, Ramona Flowers. I was listening to the song and I was like, wait a second, she's the drummer from that movie. And I looked it up. She just looks completely different.
Right, okay.
She just looks like this like really presentable like scientist lady.
Okay.
And then in Scott Pilgrim, she's like this like punk,
Little
this
edgy
punk
teen,
little
yeah.
edgy drummer. And she's so sick in like both of the roles. But yeah. Anyway, that was like a cute little thing that
A
I
weird
found.
contrast.
Yeah.
Great movie though. I don't know what compelled me to watch it, especially because I don't really watch two movies.
Yeah.
But it's on Netflix.
Yeah. Definitely go watch
Yeah.
it if you haven't.
Great watch.
But coming back to that music, I was going to tell you guys this story, and because we were talking about the whole music thing of like the worst show that I ever played, and
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you like what the worst show that you guys had seen is, but I had to mention this. I did this show back in the day at this place. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Captain Cook Hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we played at this show with a really cool band that me and a lot of my friends are still really close with. And this was like early on in our life. We went in, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Lil Fat
Yeah, like the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I lost odds. Being with all the band boys, we always do odds. If you don't know what that is, it's like a game where you both pick a number. Someone picks a number and you count down from 3, and if you both pick the same number, the other person has to do the odds.
Yeah.
And
So
odds
if it's
can
out of
be-
10, you both say 5, you lose.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah. And the odds were, on the way to the show, you down the rest of the bottle. So it's 1.25 liters
Of pure death.
of debt. It's like less than $1 of a standard drink, because you can
Yeah.
buy 3 bottles of it for $20. It's 8 standard drinks.
Is it 8 standards in a bottle?
8
Wow.
Jeez.
Right. And I'd already been down half, and they were like, you have to down the other half. I lost odds on the way to the show. I chugged down, it tastes like ass. It's so bad. Anyways, I get up on stage. I'm like.
Oh, this
my
is
head-
pre-gig.
This is
Oh, I thought
pre-gig.
you were going to like watch a gig.
No, this is me going to play.
Right.
No, because that's what I'm going to ask you what the worst one you saw is. So I can see it from your perspective.
Right.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
But I went up on this stage and the boys were like, all right, sound check. We're good. I had a little bit of a breakdown beforehand, but we're good.
Yeah.
They're like, can you play just the chorus of Broken Pieces, which was one of our main songs at that point. I was like, yeah, I'll play it for sound check, yeah. And then I start playing this completely different beat that I'd never heard before, and they'd never heard before. It wasn't even in any of our songs. I'm like, that's Broken Pieces, yeah? And I'm like playing along, I'm like, yeah, this is it. And they're like, what are you doing?
Right.
What?
How did the show go? How did the actual
Mate, it was one of those ones where you, like, halfway through, we were borderline ready to just throw in the towel. I was up there, we were playing through the cover, and I was like, I missed like so many points in that song, and I was just like, should we just stop here?
Right.
This is embarrassing.
Right. Oh,
So-
dude, that's horrible. What a horrible feeling.
I got off the stage with my head down. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
I mean, you kind of deserved it for drinking that
Wow.
much Little Fat Lamb before a gig.
As much as it was me, it was also some of the other players because
yes.
they had to down.
Oh.
So, I mean, I
Train
did the
crash.
most, but I mean, I feel like I'm not completely to blame there. But what is the worst one that you guys have seen? Because I don't know what it's like watching a show where the drummer just breaks down like that.
Yeah.
I have a bit of a. It's funny that you say that because I would say my best and one of my best and one of my worst gigs that I've seen.
Yeah.
Were by Sticky Fingers, who I was a massive fanboy of, like in my mid-teens.
Yeah.
So I saw them like for the first time. I would have been 15, 16. I went to the Enmore Theatre, which is just like, as a 16-year-old, it's like the most amazing thing.
Yeah, it's sick.
Seeing one of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
And they were like just smashing beers on stage,
God.
but they absolutely killed it. Like
Yeah.
one of the best shows I've ever seen to this day.
And they're notorious for that.
And they were notorious for that.
Just
And then
getting
that was kind of
pissed.
right before their downfall. They had a lot of stuff going on. They went on a bit of a hiatus. And then I saw them again, must have been 2019. So it was like after they'd come good and they'd gone sober and all this.
Yeah.
And we saw them at, I think it was the Horden. And I don't like the Horden anyway. I can't remember if I've said this on a podcast, but I'm too short for it.
Yeah.
Because the ground's flat. So if I'm not close to the front, I can't see anything.
Oh,
And then it was all ages, and like it was not fun at all. I don't know what it was. Just one of those things.
But it wasn't necessarily because they were playing bad.
No, they weren't necessarily playing bad. Just the atmosphere wasn't right. I don't know. You know how sometimes things are just a bit off for whatever reason.
Maybe just miss them for smashing beers and
Yeah, well,
all kinds of
apparently so. They killed it that night.
The Enmore would have been perfect though because it's a bit on that slant. Hey?
Yeah, I love the Enmore.
Yeah.
The Enmore is good.
It's the best venue in New South Wales.
Yeah.
I reckon. Can you disagree?
Look, I would agree with that just because the shows that I have seen there like have always just hit different. Like I saw Trophy Eyes there.
Oh yeah,
and I was just like,
oh dude, my
this is
friend's band.
insane.
When was that? Was that like last year?
Or
2 years ago?
Maybe last year or 2 years ago.
My mate's band supported them that night.
What was their name?
Stumps.
Stumps. Yeah, I saw them. Yeah,
really.
They're sick.
Yeah, they're sick.
Dude.
Literally, I'm mates with the bass player in that.
Far out, damn.
What a beautiful set.
Bro, what a big show to play as well.
Yeah.
That was a stacked, like everyone was going off.
Yeah.
Because they'd just come back from like a massive tour and everyone was just wild off their new album.
Right.
So yeah, it just popped off.
Yeah.
Did you go?
I didn't. I think I was still 17 at the time.
Okay.
I was either 17 or I just turned 18. I don't know.
What about your worst?
Look,
I'm keen to hear it.
I don't even remember who it was, but one of my mates was opening for them.
Yeah.
And it was some dingy little pub somewhere in Pyrmont.
Right.
And as you guys know, when you're at like a show, you kind of, I'm sure you found this a lot playing, Lucas, you have to kind of feed off what the audience is vibing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if they're, not really feeling it, you've got to adapt a bit.
Yeah.
And this
I feel
dude, whoever it was, can't remember, they just weren't getting it.
Right.
Like they were...
What was the band, like what sort of music?
They were kind of a mix of just like general pop and like soul R&B.
Okay.
But in between songs, when they were trying to hype up the audience, it was just like they were AC/DC or something. They were so like, yeah, let's go, guys.
Yeah, right.
Who's keen to be here? Anyway, here's my next song.
Oh, no.
And it just felt so strange because when they were like, yeah, what do we think of that? Yeah, that was cool. Like it was really heartfelt. But now you're trying to get me all hyped up.
Yeah.
And truthfully, I didn't stick around for the whole gig. I think I left about halfway through just because you felt in the audience really uncomfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you weren't sure like how to react.
Right.
It's like secondhand embarrassment.
It was so bad. Really,
thanks
really
for
severe secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah. Like, thanks for singing about your 16-year-old girlfriend that broke up with you.
And then he's like,
Yeah, guys, let's go.
Then there will be like one song about how they want to make a change and get back with their ex because they feel like they've improved as a person. And then it was like, who's feeling wild tonight? Yeah.
Dude, that's so funny.
And you were like, yeah, let's go. That's really fun.
Wow.
Brilliant musician, but just not great up on stage.
That's so funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a
I
great story.
didn't expect that. I was like expecting some crappy ass musicians that like 16-year-olds that don't know how to play getting up on stage, but that's funny.
Just the like the juxtaposition.
Yeah,
That's
no.
a contradiction. Yeah, juxtaposition of that's hilarious.
Yeah. When you get to that point of being like a good musician, like if you get like a full band of, musicians that are all very like good at what they do. You know what I mean? Like all the musicians are just vibing.
Yeah.
Who do you think out of, and this could be said for any band as well, in this day and age, I know it was different back in the day, who do you think gets the most credit as a musician in a band? And it doesn't have to be the same for
Like, so
each
who?
band.
So like in a band, which individual gets the most
Yeah.
credit?
The glory,
okay.
the glory.
Oh.
Not so much the credit for like music, but
The
just
singer.
the glory. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's always the vocalist.
thinking about it as well, like this day and age, you got bands where it always has been the look, but now the look can be on anyone.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you can have musicians where you just get these kids up on stage. They're not really coordinated. And one would just be like, he would just be looking like great, and he could be like the bassist or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And people would just be vibing off him.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you think that it's just always always the vocalist?
Nah. It's interesting you say that.
Yeah,
I saw,
that's an interesting point.
I was at my local before we went into lockdown, watching like just some of the local bands. I think they were in my sister's year, so they would have been just graduated. They'd be like 18, 19. And it was literally, I hadn't thought about it then until you said it, but like this bass player was just killing it.
Yeah.
He was just like at the front, just vibing, like had a great get up on, like just looked like a real individual, and he was just killing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely think, generally speaking, would probably be the singer, but it can
move on to others because it's fun. It's actually I didn't actually mean to say that, but I feel like bassists really pulling a vibe.
Yeah.
There's so one of the bands that I played at my worst ever show, we're still friends with, and their bass player, the band's called The Million. Amazing band. You guys should check them out. I'll put one of their songs on the playlist, but their bass player, the whole band are just magnificent. They're all vibing, but the bass player just always he just looks fresh on stage.
Yeah.
With, like just the way he plays.
just loves it.
Yeah, he just loves it. His name's
so-
Taman. He's so cool. And I just, every time I watch him, I'm just watching him. Usually I always watch a drummer. Being a drummer, I like to watch drummers, but whenever I watch The Million, it's always him.
Yeah, I like, you guys always hear me talk about Parcels, but like they're my favorite band, and they've got a very well balanced dynamic of like, well, to be fair, 4 out of the 5 of them sing.
Okay.
And then the drummer's just kind of like up the back, like chilling. But their guy on like, I don't know, like the synth keys, like right in the middle.
Yeah.
He just has this like awesome dance and like awesome vibe as well. And he kind of just like dominates the whole, doesn't dominate because they're still balanced, but it's the same thing. I find myself like watching him.
Just watching him,
a fair bit. That's a kind of interesting point though. I never really thought about that until now.
I think like when it comes to putting the performance on, the vocalists, the singers, they're always kind of like meant to be in the center because they're trying to get you to focus on the lyrics. But if you start to let your eyes wander, like you'll usually find just one of the musicians who you can see is really comfortable.
Yeah.
I can remember it was about all the bands, and there was this kid who was quite clearly younger than everyone else in the band by like 4 years.
Yeah.
He was on guitar.
Yeah.
And he just looked so comfortable.
Yeah.
And just having that appearance of like owning the stage, knowing that, I'm in charge, like I know what I'm doing, that 100% just like pulls your focus.
Yeah.
And it like the vocalists were good and all, like, cool, I like this song, but you're watching this kid because you feel like, I don't know if you guys find the same thing, but you feel subconsciously looking at someone who's vibing that hard. Like you can look at them and think, I'll learn something from them.
Yeah.
If I watch how they do it and I try to like analyze their approach, like if I try and take this into what I'm doing, whether it's music, whether it's just life in general, I apologize, we're getting very philosophical here. You can just think, I'll like take that process and apply that to something in my life.
As a musician, I feel the exact same way. Watching people like that, it's just like, it's like learning. It's like going to like a concert, watching people like that, and you pick up, mannerisms, you pick up all kinds of little like nitty gritty things that people like to watch. Because you like to watch it. And that's why you're watching it, because you like it. So,
it's the beauty of live music,
So, let us know who you're usually looking at a show. And what one of your favorite shows was to watch.
My best and worst shows, I'd be keen to hear what people have to say about that.
Yeah.
If like they've had an experience, whether it's like the band was bad or the atmosphere was bad. Because it's probably in both.
Do you have like a favorite show like that you ever saw? Like, was there one that just kind of like hit different?
I do. I have one that hit different. I think I've told you about this. I think we actually did a bit on it last term. But I went to this Spacey Jane gig,
Yeah.
and I'd had some of their music in my playlist for like a year or so, and I never really got too into them. My mate was like, "Oh, do you want to go?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm not really into them, but I'll go." And then they just like were insane live. They were just so good, and then in turn, I just loved their music because their live performance just totally converted me around. What about you?
It's crazy how like you come out of shows and like you're just making you're finding out new bands because of like support acts and
people talk. I always find new bands like because you talk to other people and they're like, "Oh, hey, have you heard this band?" Like, yeah.
From my perspective, one of the ones that I played, not so much saw, we did this one it was the Metro Theatre we opened up for like, there were heavier bands, but there were also bands that like me and all the boys like really loved. They were from like the UK. One of them was called Knock Loose and the other one was called 4 Years Strong. So in the scene, a lot of people knew them. We got to open and there was barely anyone in the crowd because it was the opening act. Which is kind of sad because you kind of wish people would come out for like, the openers, but it doesn't matter. I was still up on stage and like the drummer from Knock Loose, the guys that were playing second last, because they were co-headlining, he was like, "Oh yeah, just put your kit on the drum riser." So usually at wait, what?
What does that mean?
Usually if you're opening for a band, they'll already have their kit set up.
Right.
And then I would have to put my drum kit like somewhere on the front.
Like two separate drum kits.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they'll just cover theirs in like a blanket.
Yeah.
And you don't really see it. You'll notice if you go to
now. I probably will notice.
Yeah, you'll see it. But that's usually the case. And then he was like, "Nah, just put yours on the main one." And I put it up on this drum riser. I was like that much higher off the stage. And I was like looking at everybody. And I was playing it. I just felt amazing.
Right.
Like I was like one of the musicians that you'd be vibing to because I just felt it.
Yeah.
And it was so good because it was just like all these other acts. Like everyone was just cool. Like not in the sense, not just the sense of like speaking to them and they were nice. It was just watching them as well. It was like you didn't feel, you felt nothing but happiness just watching the music as well. So from my perspective as a player, that was the best show.
They should have those drum risers at every single gig.
Oh, yeah.
Like the drummer should always just be higher so you can see it.
Yes.
Like even if it's just half a meter, I feel like if you can just kind of, because like I say, I'm a short man, and if I generally speaking can't see the drummer because he's blocked by the singer or the guitarist, whichever side I'm standing on or whatever.
And they always forget to put the lights on in the back too. But who cares? Anyway.
What's the beef with the lighting engineers?
I'm watching.
My favorite gig was also at the Metro Theatre. It was
Great
a couple
venue,
years ago. It's such a good venue. It was Eden, so he's an Irish singer-songwriter, and I love him. Like, if you're watching and you've heard me talk about Eden, I can guarantee you're rolling your eyes right now because I talk about him all the time. He's like my favorite artist. And when you build someone up like that, this was the first time he'd come to Australia, so I was so keen. I was like, yes, I'm going to go see him. And, you get there and you're like, have I built this up too much? Is it going to disappoint me? But no, he delivered. He's got a really broad style of music. He's got some like the stuff you can just vibe hard to, but then he's got a lot of like introspective, thoughtful stuff. And I was talking before about needing to feed off the audience what they're feeling, and he did that so well. And I can remember there were a few points in some of like his really serious, slow, thoughtful songs. You'd have like one idiot at the back who's like, "Yeah, that's awesome." And for him to stay as focused as he did, like that takes like a very serious, thoughtful musician to do that. And I can just remember thinking, wow, like this guy knows how to perform. And so I walked away from that like, that's kind of what a gig should be. You have someone who has their music, and regardless of some idiot in the audience trying to throw you off, you stay on track.
Still on it,
That was really cool.
Do you guys get like post-gig depression? Like, so for example, if like you're so keen for a gig for so long, one of your favorite bands, you go, it's awesome, it's like the best night ever,
perfect.
and then the next day you weirdly just feel super like flat and sad because you're like, damn, it's over. Like that was sick, but now you know, I get a bit of a empty feeling after it in a weird way.
It's like all that build up. It's just there's no more. It's just doesn't exist anymore. I'm not building up to something in like a couple months.
It's a weird. I don't like that.
Yeah, I know.
It's strange. I know that it's a little bit off track, but you might have experienced it a bit. Like, I know it's a really big thing in theatre. They call it like post-show depression, and it's like an actual thing where
so it's like
you've got 6 months preparing for a play, a musical, a gig, whatever it is, and then it's just over. Like you'll have 2 or 3 performances, and then you're done. And you're like, I put in all that work preparing for it, and now, it's spent.
It's gone.
Yeah.
That I had the exact moment last year. Actually, no, started this year. We did a show in Brisbane for AM/PM over there.
Was that this year?
I think it was. I broke these years, like last year, like end of last year and this year, just molding.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
We spent like, I can't remember how many hours driving up to Brisbane. 10 hours. Yeah, it would have been 10 hours. Plus like stops and all that. And then we stayed there the night, spent the next day just kind of chilling, just hanging out, getting ready. So much build up, like that 10 hour, like probably like 2 months before, and then that 10-hour trip was just intense, this build up to this show. And then we got there, expected to have nobody there because we're a Sydney band, and who knows us from Brisbane, the scene's a bit small there. And there were just so many people that came out, and like everyone was just like, we had people just sing along to the music. I'm like, how do you people even know our songs?
Right, that's sick.
And then the night was perfect. We had our new guitarist on, and he was vibing hard. And then that ride home, like that 10 hours back, I was just like, I'm not having this for a while.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit, and I was like,
And then it just went
I'm really not
further
having this
down.
for a while.
Yeah.
So it really happens in both ways. Like playing a show or going to a show, I feel like musicians and like viewers, like they all have that feeling. That's why shows are just so good. It's perfect. Same with theatre. It's like it's all positive. It's all good. So. Yeah.
Go to a show.
Get on it, and get on it before they come back to the norm, because you might like it. Sitting down at a table having a drink. So see what you think. I was gonna say as well, on the topic of music, how music taste has changed throughout history.
Do you mean like? Oh, you mean like through the decades?
Yeah, through the decades.
Okay.
And I was thinking about this the other day, and just how kind of forgetting about how music, forgetting how music comes back every now and then, but just how the what would you call it? Like the genres that are in popular music have kind of evolved. Pop music's always that one big thing, but you've always got those subgenres.
Yeah, you got
and then people's tastes change with that because it's so big.
I think it's kind of a hard discussion to even make an opinion on.
Yeah.
I think maybe like certain artists throughout time would affect taste. Like obviously like the Beatles.
The Beatles were probably the biggest influence on like music that we know today. You've got the other smaller artists, like Elvis had a big impact.
Elvis, Michael Jackson, and the Beatles would be the three.
Those three are probably what's made the foundation of what people our age think of as music. Beethoven's, that's still music. But for us, we're like, nah, turn it off.
Well, we would say popular music. Like that's sort of more classical. It's probably like in a bit of a triangle, maybe at the top is like Elvis, Michael Jackson, and the Beatles, and then down the levels like the Rolling Stones. I don't know.
Probably Stevie Wonder.
I don't know if like you could put Oasis that high. They might be in the next one.
That'd be next one. I mean, they were influential, but not in the biggest sense. But just crazy thinking how big, especially Michael Jackson was, and how was it Superstar? He was the first ever super.
I think he's the most famous person of all time.
Still,
Is he not?
Yeah.
Really wouldn't surprise me.
Should I look it up? Is it like how do you define the most famous person?
Yeah, I know. I don't know what the requirements are, but I feel like he'd still be up there.
He'd have to be, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, to get to that level of fame, that's insane. And I was talking about this with someone not too long ago, but Michael Jackson was so famous that he would like hire people just to go into a supermarket so he could go in and shop without being harassed.
Damn.
Like,
I think that could still happen today.
I feel like that'd
Yeah.
be a big problem today.
Yeah.
Dude, imagine like all the TikTokers and stuff just trying to like.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They
Especially all the people all the kids that
laid outside
follow.
houses and stuff.
Yeah, like some people. I know someone like this, and you know who you are.
being called out.
But they would proper like follow these superstars. Like they knew even down to like the number plate of the van that they were in.
Okay,
I was
that's a
just
bit
like,
creepy.
Jeez.
I mean, in a sense, it was like for them, it was like something fun.
Yeah.
They were never like harassing them. They were
Right.
never doing anything wrong. It was
Yeah,
just
it's an
kind of,
expression of admiration.
yeah, more like that. But there are people that do get to the point where they're harassing them. And
Yeah.
that's when it's kind of gross. So there were people that will do the same thing, but get to the point where they're trying to break into their hotel room or like, you know. So I mean, superstars, yeah, but I mean, they really are probably like when it comes to like big artists like that. That's what changes people's taste in music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially with like the introduction of like rock to rock and roll. I mean rock and roll and stuff like that. Like all those key bands just made rock into what we have now. Like that's how a lot of them, like pop punk, or like we wouldn't have that if we didn't start with rock.
Yeah.
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 Maybe each genre would have its own triangle as well.
Yeah.
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 And you've definitely got like those artists that create like a new sort of sound, you know, so moving from rock into punk rock. And then once that transition sort of started happening,
Yeah.
that artist will get big and then create more genres. And so it's kind of like feed it forward type scenario.
Yeah.
Like, I suppose Linkin Park's not a bad example.
Yeah.
They had a very specific sound
Yeah.
when they first started,
Yeah.
and they started adapting.
Yeah.
And then you've got other bands that go to that new sound.
Yeah.
Um,
But they would be that smaller triangle for that scene.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they would
Because
be in
they
the
wouldn't
pop
be the
punk scene.
overall.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they'd be higher in the pop punk scene.
Oh yeah.
You know
Like
what I mean?
everyone
They'd be up
knows
there.
Linkin Park.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like Oasis would probably be at the top of like, I don't know if indie's the right genre, but kind of like indie
Yeah, I
rock.
suppose. Indie rock.
Indie
yeah,
rock, they'd be
like
at the top
alt
up
rock
there.
and stuff like that. Yeah. But like today, like I couldn't even put a finger on what would be like the big genre at the moment. Because there's like such a blend, which is really good. Like it used to be back in the day, you would have like rock pop stars, and then you would have you know, people like Michael Jackson and stuff, and they would be like just taking up the scene.
100%. Because I suppose back then it was a matter of like accessibility.
Yeah.
You couldn't,
Yeah.
you know, share your SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be needing to go to some big record producing company. Wow, this is Michael Jackson, this is Elvis, whoever it is. And then because it's just like the one media outlet, I suppose, that's why you've got the certain figures dominating. But as you're saying, you can't really pinpoint it now.
Yeah.
You've got so much variety. You don't need to, you can be sharing your music for free.
Yeah.
You can create your own genres because there's like that much musical diversity.
That's it. Yeah.
I think still like, I can't remember what my point was then, but like still the most sort of popular genre at the moment would be pop. Like still at the top of like, I mean, you could even say rap kind of, but I would still argue that like Ed Sheeran would probably be one of the biggest artists in the world right now.
But what would you put that like? So pop. So pop's kind of like it's broad. So pop
Very
is
broad.
popular music. But what would you put down Ed Sheeran to be? Like it's kind of just like
What do you mean?
So
He'd be a pop star, would he not?
Yeah, he'd be pop star. But he's just so like different in the way that he plays. Like
Yeah.
there's very different aspects and very different genres blended into one.
I guess so, but I think it's kind of just that whole mainstream umbrella.
Yeah.
Of just like you kind of just put it into pop, like I don't know. That's how I think of it anyway.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just these days, definitely. It's like we've got so much more music, which is a good thing. It's great because then like you have different scenes for different people. So different places that people feel like they feel more at home at. You know, you've got like local Sydney rap scene, you've got local Sydney hardcore, pop punk, and then you know indie, and then alt rock, and there's so many different scenes. It's hard to it's hard to
It's interesting they're all in like their own category as well.
Yeah.
Like there actually are individual scenes of like even pop punk, indie rock, and what'd you say, alt rock as well, which should all be different.
And so I couldn't tell you anyone in like.
But like pop punk and the punk scene is so different as well.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You can't like punk scene's super intense.
Yeah.
And then the pop punk, like anyone can kind of get around that, you know?
Yeah, so, I get that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Should we move on to music?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, let's start discussing a little bit of stuff about music. That might be an
music's
interesting talk point.
So, what do you
I
guys
bet like
think?
this Spotify.
Yeah, we do have more songs on there for you. I was thinking about it this morning. I spent the week trying to figure out what my new suggestions would be, but I finally figured it out and I chucked them on there. But before we get to that, what'd you do, Cody? What's the vibes for this week?
What did I do, like music-wise?
Yeah.
I went a really strange route this week. I kind of went like not really three different genres, but I've gone with Car Seat Headrest with a song called Fill in the Blank, which is awesome. Like, it's just like, they're an awesome band. I reckon you should definitely check them out. I got Men I Trust, who are a sick band. Yeah. And this other like random song I found, I don't even know much about this guy. His name's Roosevelt. It's kind of just like just a bit of a vibe, you know.
One of my best mates just showed me Men I Trust.
Really?
I just had a look at some of their videos. And it's sick.
Yeah.
They're such a good band.
Yeah.
It's so tight. Like
definitely.
Like the music is just so easy to like just vibe with.
That's what it's almost like a vibe is a genre.
The
genre is vibe.
Yeah. They had like a video of them just playing in the garage.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So
I've seen
fresh.
that. It's good, right?
I just loved it. Like the drum was like he barely tapping the drums because he was just trying to keep it quiet.
Yeah.
Like bro, it's
Yeah.
so fresh.
Yeah. He's just like he's literally just sitting in the pocket, like just filling the space, like sort of minding his own business, but dope.
Yeah, so good.
Great.
So good.
Nice. I've been listening to Joji's new album, Nectar.
I haven't listened to it yet.
I think it's definitely worth the listen.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff does sound very similar. The songs that he released in the lead up to it, like Sanctuary, Gimme Love, Run, those all sound very different, unique, but everything else kind of has the same kind of undertones.
Yeah.
If I had to say my top 3 from the album, I would probably say Gimme Love, Daylight, and I actually quite like Ew.
Okay.
Just EW.
EW.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
I'll definitely listen to it.
Yeah, I've got to have a proper listen to the album. It's been on my list, but I haven't gotten around to it. So.
Do you guys have a list and then just constantly go back to like your favorite artist? You're like, I need to.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna listen to these guys. But there's this. I always do
There's
that.
the same albums I listen to every day.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I think
it's weird
like
because it's like I get so it's not until I listen to a few songs like over and over again till like I actually
really like
them.
it.
So I get bored before then, which is really bad because it's all good music.
Yeah.
I read something in an interview with a band. I can't remember what band it was, but he pretty much said that like if you like a song straight off the bat, it's boring. It lacks depth. And I do agree. Because I think a lot of my favorite songs, like first time around, I didn't like straight off the bat go, yeah, this is sick.
Yeah.
And then like a month later, I'll be like, dude, this has been my playlist for a month. This is insane.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of an interesting. I'd never heard it before then.
Yeah.
Like a song you don't like. If you like it straight away, then it's not a good song.
Yeah.
But I found that as well. If I do like a song straight off the bat, it will get old really quickly.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
There's a few on my playlist that, you chuck them out after you've listened to them a handful of times.
Yeah.
My ones were, and thank you for saving the pop punk scene, but Machine Gun Kelly. I listened to his new album and the tracks are sick. Him and Travis Barker working together are just, it's so good. It's like what Blink-182 should be these days.
Okay, wow, yeah.
Because like I never really, and don't hit me for saying this, whoever's watching that love them. I never really liked Blink-182 too much. Like I was more a Green Day person.
Okay. Yeah.
So like I listened like heaps of Green Day and like The Offspring and all that. I loved them, but then Blink-182 just kind of didn't do it for me. And then why are you in a pop punk band, Lucas? So I feel like this is just how I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
So I put 3 songs on, 2 or 3 songs on. It was one. It's like the title track, the one featuring Halsey and one featuring another dude. And
Should be red.
Should be red, yeah. I can't remember the names. I never remember names of songs unless they're my own. So
this guy's a serious musician.
Yeah. Check him out. I love them so much, and it's got such like he's had such a good like what do you call it, like response for it.
That's good.
I feel like it's actually going to do like a miracle for the scene that I'm in. So shout out to him.
Shout out MGK.
Yeah, bro.
King.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I can't take full credit for this week because I did hear it. I did hear it somewhere else. I can't remember where I heard it, but it came back into my mind this week because I came across the movie Mad Max. And I'd heard this question a while ago.
Is this the latest movie? Like
the new one.
The new one.
It was like a couple of years ago whenever it came out.
Yeah. The one with Tom Hardy.
Yeah. So the question, would you rather wear the Mad Max mask for like a month, you can't take it off for 30 days, or would you rather break your femur?
Wait, where's the femur again?
The femur is your big bone in your thigh. It's the biggest bone in the body. From your knee to like your hip, your pelvis or whatever.
And that's a lot of recovery.
Yeah, so it's like...
Yikes.
But I honestly reckon the Mad Max mask would be the worst smelling
It'd
thing.
It'd be so heavy too.
Oh, dude. Imagine trying to sleep with like the pipes going on the back of his head.
And like how heavy, like the metal would be like just pushing against your skin. It's like when you take it off, you just have these permanent indents on your face.
Your skin would be so messed up. Like you couldn't go out in public for a month with that thing on.
Yeah,
but like breaking your femur. Like imagine snapping your femur.
Do you have to go through the trauma of it breaking, or is it just already broken?
Is it just
No. It's start to finish progress. You're waking up. You're waking up. Like we're gonna assume
break in a few hours.
No, you don't know. But like we're gonna assume that like you make a full recovery and you can work again. Everything's fine. There's no long-term repercussions.
I'm just imagining I wake up and this just buff man just comes into my room and just stomps down on my leg.
Yeah.
And I have to sit there and deal with it.
It would take more than that though, dude. Like to break your
okay. Okay,
you need to like put your knee like on something and then just like have
I don't like this question.
This is why they're the sandbox questions.
Okay. Just something we should probably discuss first. With the Mad Max like mask, do you reckon that like obviously it's not comfortable, it'd be an inconvenience, but you'd probably be able to find a reasonable enough way to eat? Like,
Probably through those tubes.
You'd probably just aside from being an inconvenience and having your face hurt a bit, like it probably wouldn't be all that bad in comparison to having your femur broken.
See, I'm kind of in the same boat, dude. Like, I think it would be a terrible, terrible month.
Yeah.
Either way.
So it's I wonder what the recovery time is on a broken femur.
Dude.
It would be more than a month.
It'd be like 5 to 6 months. Sure.
Yeah.
But like, good to know that you're coming back 100% though. Because generally, if you break something like that, I feel like you won't be able to do certain sports and stuff like that. I mean, to an extent. Like I've met plenty of people that have broken significant bones that will still come back 100%.
Yeah.
It's nice to know that you'll come back 100%.
Yeah.
It's a tough question, dude.
Dude, I'm just worried about like I'm just worried about what that mask would do to my face.
Yeah.
Imagine the smell, dude.
I know.
The smell for
bad.
30
It's
days.
So
You couldn't go to the shops because you would be a general like that'd be public indecency, I swear. Because you'd look like an actual criminal. So I'm thinking you're locked down for a month, 30 days, no human contact. Bad smelling
man.
mask, your face hurts, you can't sleep.
Oh man.
So it's 30 days. The 30 days would be bad.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, when you put it like that, the psychological side of it's probably
Yeah.
worse with the mask than with the female.
Yeah. I mean, you'd still have your family at home that would, you just force them to associate with you. Just talk to the police.
Dude.
You just have to pretend, like, just really, really get along with everyone in the house.
Yeah.
I would honestly say,
I'm still going to take the mask, I think.
I think so. I think with the mask, it's a good opportunity to make some quality content as well. So you could make some pretty cool videos online. Sorry, thinking of that as on a YouTube perspective, like doing all like the gaming videos, I reckon it'd be funny. Just having my face there in like a video.
Lug,
just
but
like
with the
Lug,
mask.
but with mask.
You wouldn't be able to talk though. You just come out like muffled.
Yeah, to be honest, he doesn't even talk in it, eh?
No.
I don't think so.
Barely talks, yeah.
That is a weird movie.
Oh, that is. Always got the mask on. I'm not even going to start with the whole Bane thing. Otherwise, we're going to get into the Bane voices. Yeah, look, I'm sitting on the mask.
I'm going
sitting on
mask.
the
Yeah,
mask.
I'm gone, mate.
just-
Unanimous mask. Let us know.
I cannot imagine having that broken on your leg.
Oh, dude. Imagine the pain. You'd pass out.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
And I guess, I mean, that's a good thought too. Like, I would rather pass out than sit through the pain.
You might pass out from the mask, bro, when you first put it on. Because the smell would be so bad.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What would you do?
Thanks for
What
coming.
would you? Thank you for sitting through this.
Congratulations for making it this far.
I really wonder, would you rather put on that disgusting mask or break your leg?
Break your femur. I'm keen to see what people say.
Yeah, no, this will be
I
an
think they would have some
divide.
interesting takes on it. Have we missed some? We might have missed some things.
Oh man.
Anyway, we need to like kind of wrap this up because my car's going to get towed in like
Oh
10
yeah.
minutes.
Oh, that's it. Look, I'm good with leaving it there. Thank you so much for coming out. We appreciate you guys. Let us know what you think about seeing us in the flesh as well. It's hard doing the Minecraft stuff because we can't be here together. I know, he's real.
Weird how crazy.
We might try and do this a bit more.
Yeah.
Try
Yeah.
and get in a bit more often so we're not talking over each other all the time.
Yeah. See, this works better because we're not, there's not like, oh no, you go, you
Yeah.
speak.
I'm also not just made up of like 16 pixels. You can actually, this is what I look like, by the way.
Well, you're not that blurry.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Peace, guys. Thank you so much. Check out our socials. Make sure you give us a like and a subscribe. You don't have to comment, but if you want to, please do comment what you think and what you think about the collaborative playlist too, because we haven't had a lot of feedback on that, and I know like a lot of you guys are listening. So let us know what you think, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, guys. Peace.
Stay groovy.
Peace.